Hello and welcome to the Friendship News Hour presented to you by Bummer Dude Media. My name is Frank. His name is Alex. Today is February 9th, 2022. I just got some sad news, Al.
Oh, no.
Jeremy Giambi has passed.
Is that a baseball player?
Yeah. He's the younger brother of Jason Giambi.
Okay. I was like, Jason, popped in my head. Okay, so he was a good baseball player? His brother's like a New York legend, right?
Yeah, his brother's a legend for sure. Jeremy he carved out like a 7-year career in the MLB. Nothing to sneeze at, but yeah, dead at 47.
Heart attack or what took him? No idea.
Nobody says. They just say that he passed. His agent announced it tonight.
Rest in peace. That's unfortunate.
Sad news, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of the MLB, while we're on that subject, I would just like to state very publicly that I am fully against the decision to not admit Barry Bonds into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we never talked about that.
I am very against it. I think he absolutely, positively, 1,000% deserves to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Pray tell, because it's a hot topic. A lot of people, like I hear the sentiment you say, and it's a lot of baseball fans that are friends of mine that say that, but like a lot of purists and whoever the fuck's on that committee, like sounds like they're just like, no, he cheated. No chance. So like, okay. What's the real thing? You
gotta really understand who like the baseball player Barry Bonds was, because if he retired in the year 2000, he would be in the Hall of Fame because of the tarnish on his name, because of the egg that's on his face. If they were to elect him into the Baseball Hall of Fame, then they would have to recognize his accomplishments, meaning him being the all-time baseball home run leader, passing Hank Aaron, and all of the accomplishments and records that he holds. They would have to acknowledge them as valid, and they don't right now. If you look up who the number one home run hitter is in baseball in the official baseball records, it gives you the San Francisco Giants as a team.
Weird.
Yes. This is not recognized because of steroids. So if they were to admit him into the Hall of Fame, then they would have to recognize all of these stats, which they're not prepared to do. It's the baseball writers that decide this. So they're the ones that are playing guard. So the only people that vote for those who go into the Hall of Fame are the baseball writers of America. And if you write enough for MLB, they award you a vote for the Hall of Fame. And so you get a vote for the Hall of Fame. And when he first got on the ballot in I forget. I think it's like 5 years after he retired. So it would have been 2016, something like that. 2015, 2016. He had like 33% of the vote. And then this last time, his last year of eligibility, he had 66% of the vote. Ooh. So it raised, but you need 72%.
Oh, wow.
I forget. It's somewhere around 72% to be elected. And he didn't get in. So these writers are playing guard for whatever reason. They want to protect baseball or, some ceremonious bullshit. But look, steroids are not. And yes, like it's very obvious he cheated, although he's never publicly admitted that. He never has said the words, I cheated before. Mm-hmm. But he said that he applauded Mark McGwire for coming out and saying he used steroids. I don't know. There's probably some legal shit that if he says that he did it, then he might be charged with like perjury, because he's already stood trial for perjury for lying to Congress.
But so here's my question. You're saying in 2000, if he retired in 2000, he would be in the Hall of Fame. Did he not take, or is there like no record of him taking steroids until then?
No, he probably was taking steroids in the late, even mid 1990s. Who knows? He came into the league in 92, 93.
So I'm just confused, because if he didn't take those steroids, I've seen pictures of the dude when he was like a rookie and shit. Like, dude was skin and bones. He was skinny, man. Like,
yeah.
And he bulked the fuck up. Like, I mean, who knows? I don't know. I don't totally disagree with him not being there, because if he never took steroids and didn't cheat possibly his entire career, we're probably never talking about Barry Bonds.
Yeah, we're not talking about him in the way that we're talking about him as like the very best to ever do it. But here's the thing, man. Even when he went to the San Francisco Giants in the late 90s, 97, 98, and then throughout the rest of his career, he was still stealing a ton of bases. And he was still a really, really good baseball player. He won 2 or even 3 MVP awards while he was a Pittsburgh Pirate. So he was a generational player before this whole steroid thing. We don't know how long he's taken steroids. We don't know any of that stuff. I'm just saying, if you strip away the biggest accomplishments of his career, which are the massive amount of home runs that he was hitting in the early and mid 2000s, then even this home run record, he would still be a Hall of Famer. He would still be a Hall of Fame baseball player. And I just think it's unfortunate Even Curt Schilling was on the ballot for the last time this year, and he didn't get in because of steroid allegations. And he's top 5 pitcher ever, top 10 pitcher ever.
So like, what about Large Papi, Big Papi? He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Papi.
He got caught for cheating, didn't he not?
Maybe he had PED one time. I kind of remember that story, but I don't think it was like his whole career.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know that for sure, but yeah, he got elected.
So who would you rather have seen in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose or Barry Bonds?
Both. They both deserve it. They're both out for dumb reasons.
See, to me though, Barry Bonds' cheating enhanced his performance. I don't think what Pete Rose did enhanced his performance. Like, I don't think, was Pete Rose throwing games or was he just betting on the Reds to win?
He was just betting on baseball. I don't even know he was betting on the Reds.
That's not bad to me. I don't see the problem with that. It's breaking the rules, but it's not anything he was doing to make him the all-time home run leader. Or like, and he's like the hits leader, but like, I don't think betting on games made him the hits leader. I think cheating made Barry Bonds the home run leader. Whether he was a good player before or not, like, we're not talking about Barry Bonds the hitter today. You know what I mean? Like, I think Pete Rose, and this is coming from a very far removed baseball fan, but like, I always thought Pete Rose got fucked there.
Yeah, I do too. It looks like he might have. Hold on. Pete Rose might have.
That's fucked up. If you're throwing games, I can't get behind you. Like I said, this is
okay.
A limited
He bet on
fan.
baseball as a player. See, no, here's the thing. Like, of course that's wrong. I mean, I guess it's like akin to insider trading. If you know some things that other people don't in the world of baseball, then obviously you can't bet on it. But I don't know. I do think it's dumb that they're not recognized for their contributions to the sport. The same thing with like Lance Armstrong, He was cheating, but so was everybody else.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And so I don't know, man. Like, it's so hard. You can get so petty with it, and it can get so technical and dumb. And
isn't it weird in the other major sports, like, you don't hear this kind of stuff? Hockey, football, basketball, like you don't hear about.
There've been scandals,
steroids, and yeah, but like,
dude, everybody has their own scandals. Well, you mean like just from steroids?
Just like on a player level. Like, I know I've heard about cheating in the NFL or in the NBA with refs. Like, but I've never. Maybe the NFL just has let steroids go under the radar for so long. Because I gotta imagine in the '90s they were probably doing the same shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, baseball has a crazy history of drugs. People were on amphetamines in the '70s all the time. And with this kind of stuff that Barry Bonds was doing, and Alex Rodriguez and Mark McGwire, all these guys, they were taking these steroids that were like undetectable. So they knew what they were doing was illegal, and they were trying to skirt the testing rules that they had. So it was in that way very scandalous. I think you hear about PEDs all the time in football and other sports too, banned substances and whatnot. But I think at the systemic level, yeah, probably not. Doing stuff like that was that illegal in one sport.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Lance Armstrong, cycling, that's the only other one. Now, that dude was transfusing all the blood out of his body to pass a drug test and putting it back in. That's insane.
Yeah, they did some crazy shit, dude. They did some crazy shit. Lance Armstrong's story is wild.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wild, man.
Good documentary about it, though. I think it's on Netflix now. Really good one.
He has a good Joe Rogan podcast, too. Did you hear that one?
Oh, no. Like after the cheating, talking about it? Oh.
Yeah, he's very cool, very candid, tells everything. It's neat.
Man. Joe Rogan. Wish he was in the news more.
Hey, Michael made a point, though. He goes, hey, nobody's talking about Apple Music.
That's true.
Nobody's talking about Google Play.
Talking about Spotify.
That's all Spotify.
You think that's a conspiracy? You don't think that's set up like just a publicity?
Oh, gosh, no.
Yeah, he doesn't need that.
No way. No, I mean, I think it was inevitable when you hand over the distribution of your entire platform to a company who employs a ton of people. A lot of people are going to be upset about it, and it's not like, I don't know. I think once you consolidate control of your art like that to one place, it's easier for people to attack you. If you're not you could call on Apple Podcasts to take you down or Spotify Podcasts to take you down. Maybe one or two does, but then you have options. You can go somewhere else. With Spotify, you can get zeroed in on. And so, I don't know. I think it was inevitable, right? I mean, fuck, the guy has talked to so many people who are unmentionable.
Yeah.
Milo Yiannopoulos comes to mind. I mean, Alex Jones, very controversial people. And I'm pretty sure those episodes have been taken down. I guess he says the N-word a bunch. I don't know. Fuck, that was a bad look.
Yeah, dude. A lot of people have come to his aid, though, man. Like a lot of comedian friends, Donald Rollins, Chappelle, like
right,
Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, like all these dudes, so many people. Which is probably like makes him feel good, whatever. But like I think I'm not going to defend him saying that word, and to be honest with you, I haven't listened to the context in which he said it, but like,
well, it doesn't exist in the way that it was presented.
Right, exactly. It's just a hit piece. But
yeah, more or less, sure.
I do think it's fucked up though that they're removing episodes. I heard like some episodes with Theo Vaughn got taken down. They probably, like you were saying, the Alex Jones episodes, like that's like, it's free. I don't know. I guess it's up to Spotify because it's their platform, but like, I mean, last time I checked, like a free country as far as like what you can say and put out there. And especially like when he has so many black friends and comedians, like this dude is obviously not a racist and obviously not saying these things in the way that they're saying he is. So it's like, now we're going to go through all his podcasts and like censor information that makes some people feel uncomfortable. Like, just don't listen to it.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, so I think that's well known. And if you, it's just that word, man. It's just so, in any like, it's just so bad. Especially the way it's presented. It's just like, fuck. It's just like how but that's the thing. Like I think the people that had put that out, I don't know that they really think that Joe Rogan's a racist. Maybe they do. I don't know. But I think the intent of doing that was so that the discussion could be had as if Joe Rogan was a racist or not. Because if you watch the show at all, you listen to it. I mean, I've listened to it pretty regularly since about 2014. Mm-hmm. I mean, you listen to somebody that long, you're going to know if they're racist. Like, it's just very obviously not true. Right. So that's why I think it's like a kind of a dumb attack, because if you have 11 million listeners, you got to imagine a good chunk of them listen pretty regularly, and they're going to know like, oh, well, this is going to change my mind about this person. I listened to, he literally has millions of hours of his thoughts out in the open. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know.
I did see that Rumble, which is a service I've not heard of before, but they offered him $100 million, which would match his Spotify contract for a 4-year contract, saying that they would not censor anything. And that he could pretty much, do whatever he wanted. All his episodes would be up there. Probably just a publicity stunt, but I'm sure he's not leaving Spotify.
You just run the N-word all you want, Joe. You're free to do it.
I don't think they were saying that.
I know, obviously, but I don't know. It's he's not. And Spotify basically was like, look, we're not going to take him down. We get it. We're sorry, but not going anywhere, which is good. And I think it's I feel like it's not really even talked about very much at all. I haven't been paying attention. I've been so damn busy. As you can see, I'm not in my usual spot. I'm in Sacramento right now. So
Sacramento, nice.
Been doing a whole bunch, man.
You running for governor? You got to put in your application and everything.
Exactly. I'm over here. I'm knocking doors down, brother. Grassroots.
Dude, congratulations actually to both of our states. It sounds like the indoor mask mandate is soon to be lifted.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, it was just announced today.
Good for air. Cheers to that, I suppose.
Yeah, cheers.
LA's not following that, but
oh really?
Yeah, they're backing down.
Really? So like it's a state decision, but like cities.
It was a state mandate, but yeah, local health and human services departments can see fit to mask their population. So LA County will be masked.
Oh, I'm probably fucked then too. God damn it.
Maybe. Well, you don't live in
Cook County. Yeah, I live just outside of Cook County, but I mean the whole area is pretty blue. So,
dude, I don't know, man. It's got to be soon enough. You can't. How could you be the only holdout in a state?
Yeah, I mean, right.
But they are run by a mayor who recently posed for a picture and said he held his breath so he didn't transmit COVID. When asked why he wasn't wearing a mask, what the fuck was that? Did we talk about that last time? I don't even care. We'll talk about it again.
Talk to me. Yeah.
Did you hear about this?
No.
You didn't hear about this? Oh my God. So during the NFC Championship game, there was a bunch of celebrities at SoFi Stadium in LA, and one of them happened to be Gavin Newsom, our governor. He got a lot of heat because there were pictures of him not wearing a mask, and he was like, oh, I was just not wearing it for a short amount of time, this, that, and the other. There were, in fact, no pictures of him wearing a mask. So, I mean, do with that what you will. Taking pictures with Magic Johnson and shit, no masks, but your kid's got to go to school tomorrow with a mask. It's so infuriating. I can't believe we're not like with pitchforks and knives and fiery sticks chanting down Sacramento for the governor's head. Anyway,
I thought that's what you're there for. With some truckers or something?
Well, I got to mix some work in too. But the mayor of LA was there too. And he was not wearing a mask during a picture, and he was asked about it. And he told reporters that he held his breath. And so there was no chance for transmission. And after the picture, he put the mask back on. It's like, dude, oh my God. Oh my God. Is it a cult yet?
What's her name? Stacey Abrams down in Georgia got like fucked up yesterday because she was in like a classroom full of kids that all had masks on, and she's sitting front and center, no mask, just smiling.
So I think that picture got tweeted either Monday night or Tuesday night. And then the following morning, Stacey Abrams' official page had a job opening for the PR team for social media. Swear to God. Can't make it up.
She's like, who let that one get through? Come on.
Yeah, seriously. It's probably, it's probably a mole or something. But good for them. Dude, I mean, I don't know. Like, how can you defend that picture? How can you be sitting there smiling fucking cheek to cheek in front of a classroom of masked babies? These children were like 5, dude.
And then there's another picture too of her standing with like a few of the teachers that were there. They're all masked up. She's got her mask off again. It's just like, if we're gonna like go hard on this and talk all this shit about people that don't want to get vaccines and wear masks, like, you guys better be the shining example of that, or what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, like, I'm glad these masks are going away. Yeah, I heard some rumors that during the State of the Union, there's going to be some sort of announcement that COVID's over or whatever. Honestly, at this point, I don't care how it happens. I don't care who decides they want to take credit for it. Just stop the madness already. It looks like the Canadians are caving in a little bit. Those truckers are still log jamming their shit up in Ottawa. It's pretty, I mean, I don't know. I don't live in Canada. I'm not Canadian. I can't speak for them. But from what I'm seeing on social media, it looks pretty admirable from my view. A lot of shit's been going down. There was a video of a ton of people walking down like a main street in downtown Ottawa, and they all had gas cans. And the video said that it was in response to one of the mayor's calls that anybody who is caught helping the truckers with like gasoline gets arrested. And so they all decided to just go walk down Main Street with gas, like, come get us, basically, kind of thing.
Damn. Okay.
The city manager of Ottawa had called for he called every single tow truck operator in Ottawa to try and tow the truckers, and they all, to a fucking business, said no. Everyone was like, no, we're not helping, sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I forget, they laid down, they caved in on something. They caved in on some kind of regulation, some kind of restriction. I forget what it was. I think it might have been masks or something. I forget. But they're starting to listen. Thank God, man. The official response by the Canadians when this all was happening, especially like the Prime Minister, it was so dismissive. It was so dismissive. It was so like, ugh, whatever. These guys, these troublemakers, these lawless people, these people don't give a shit about anybody's health or whatever. These are not the right people, like, not even willing to listen to the fact that, tens of thousands of truckers decided to descend upon your capital city in protest of your mandates. Yeah. It's kind of a big deal.
Huge deal. Yeah, man. I did see, I think it was in The Guardian. Sarah sent me this link, but basically saying that, like, we are now beginning the transition from a pandemic to an endemic, which is, I guess, like, when the disease has gotten to a point, like, globally, where we pretty much have to live with it because it's not quite as deadly. At least it could still be infectious, but it's not quite as deadly. And I mean, basically, you have to live with it, which is, like, my opinion, what we should have done quite a while ago. But
I feel like people who are living in reality have been doing this for an entire year. Who is this coming from again?
The Guardian put it up. So I mean, I don't know.
I heard some people on CNN echoing the same shit.
Really? Yeah, well, maybe that's what Joe's going to say in State of the Union then.
Yeah, possibly. Like I said, whatever. I don't care what gets us back to normal at this point. There's no need in putting blame. Do you think this is a political move? Do you think this is a strategy to get ahead of the midterms?
That's exactly what I was going to say, bro. It's like so funny that right as the new presidential election and all these campaigns are about to start, that like they're going to try to come out of the pandemic's over and we did it, and we did it together. Like, to me, it feels a little bit strategic. Maybe it's just like coincidence. I do not know. I can't help, the conspiracy theorist in me cannot help but think like there's like a political motive to like try to get some fucking street cred back to the Democrats because they fucking need the help right now, man.
Well, I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense, right? Why pivot now? What has happened? Nothing really. I mean, kind of. I guess COVID cases have been going down, but
like a month ago we were like at the highest recorded hospital levels ever. Like, it's like, but now we're almost done with it. Now we're going to live with it. It's like, what? It changed that quickly? Really?
Who knows, man? That's the only conclusion I think that you can come to is that, like, you know, they're feeling it. They know that they have lost their grip completely. They have nothing to hold on to. And so if they can't ride the COVID wave no more, they can't ride the fear and death, and then they have to create a scenario where people could accept the fact that it's ending when they know it should have ended a whole long time ago, so that there's a scapegoat for everybody. You know what I mean? It's the entire country playing politics about a disease that's drug on far too long in our society. Are you seeing this shit out of China, dude? The entire women's Canadian team was skating with their mask on the entire game.
I did see that. Yeah, hockey team. Just because they didn't know what the results of the other team were. They didn't even know that someone on the team had it. It was just like, well, they might.
Yeah.
But I guess, fuck it, dude. From their perspective, if you've trained for 4 years to get to that point.
Great point.
You don't want to like let some fucking bullshit like that fuck it up. Because I saw one of our main figure skaters got COVID now and they're out of the Olympics. And it's like, fuck, man.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what China's policy is in that country or for the Olympics or whatever. So if you test positive, I'm sure in any aspect you're out, which hopefully that kind of shit changes too. You know, the NFL was that adopted that kind of, if you're not symptomatic, you shouldn't test kind of policy. I hope that's kind of what we got going forward. You know, if you're not symptomatic, don't test. That's how we ease back into the normal swing of things, and we stop testing and we stop quarantining. We stop saying, you know, you're some big parasite on society for not testing or whatever. You know, I hope that's how it inevitably goes down, because if we continue to test so regularly like we're doing, I feel like we're just going to catch all the time. Like, it's like kind of like testing for the cold.
Yeah, right.
Shit, you know?
Well, this is my question. So like it was Vincent Zhou, I think it is how you say it. Zhou, Z-H-O-U. He's a U.S. Olympic figure skater. He's a beast from what I've heard. I don't know the figure skating world that well, but his event is men's individual. Like, it is him by himself on a big ass ice rink. If the dude can skate, if he was fucking sick with the flu and decided he still wanted to play, they would let him skate. Like, I don't see how someone's going to get COVID if you're on an ice rink by yourself. Like,
right.
But he's out. He trained for 4 years of his life for this shit, and he's out because of some fucking virus. Like, he could be completely fine. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this dude's on his ass right now. I have zero insight into the man's life, but like, it just seems so silly to me. I could see if it's like a 12-on-12 or whatever the fuck match, but even in hockey or 5-on-5, like in a big ass open area, so much air circulating with how quick you're going, I just don't see how it really affects anything.
Seriously, dude. So, I don't know. You can probably hear it in my voice. I have like a tiny little bit of congestion in my nose. I know.
Should I be worried? Should I wear a mask?
Yeah, maybe. Does it travel through light speed? But, you know, like, not by my choosing. I took a COVID test this past Saturday and I was negative. And so I'm here traveling with a little bit of congestion in my nose.
And what does that make you, 6-0 against COVID now?
Kind of feel like an asshole. Dude, like 8-0, 10-0, 12-0. Nice. I don't know. A lot of O's. A lot of O's, baby.
I've never taken a COVID test.
Fuck COVID.
Through
really?
All of this. Never.
Once? Never took a COVID test?
Never,
How did you manage to do that?
Superior genetics, man.
You never one time came in contact and had to test or was scared for your pregnant wife?
I haven't got sick. I mean, I got 3 vaccines, but I haven't got sick through the entire pandemic. And I don't know if that's because of the vaccines or what, but
good for you, man.
Lucky, maybe. But I go to the gym 6 days a week, like play tennis, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm around motherfuckers. I just somehow I haven't. I don't know.
I think the only times I took a test every time that I was in close contact, or I was like traveling and it was a requirement of whoever I was going to see. But other than that, I haven't been sick up until a couple of weeks ago when I got sick.
Oh yeah,
and didn't test positive.
Just while we're on the Olympics, have you watched any of them?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the same question. I've watched a shit ton more than I thought I would.
Yeah, same, man. My mom's all about it, and she was here this last
really?
5 days, so she pretty much would have let me watch anything else.
That's hilarious.
Which is rough. I'm not really big into like the figure skating and shit. I know it takes a tremendous amount of skill. It's just not fun to watch.
I do not think it's exciting. I don't think it's fun to watch. I think it's incredibly technical and hard, and I think it's very, very difficult, and I applaud you for being the best in your craft in the world. But I don't enjoy it at all.
Yeah. My mom would sit there and watch it for 4 hours straight and like have a great time. Like, oh yeah. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you do it. I don't know. But like curling, I fuck with the curling.
Dude, I'll watch fucking Italy and Slovakia. No, I watched the entire match.
Norway.
Wasn't it?
Wasn't it Italy, Norway?
Yeah, that's who the gold medal match was, the mixed doubles.
Sweden, Great Britain for the bronze.
Yeah. So I was staying at my girlfriend's parents this past weekend, and we all went to bed somewhat early on Saturday. and I wasn't like super tired. And I stayed up for like an hour and a half just watching curling, dude, on my phone.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved it. And that's what I've been since I've been here in Sacramento. I haven't really been watching very much of anything, but I've been watching the Olympics every night. Hockey, curling. I'll watch freaking high jump, ski high jump. I'll watch the freestyle skiing, skeleton, fuck, all that, dude. It's so much fun to watch those games.
It's just so weird to have a Winter Olympics where they have to bring in fake ass snow, bro. Like it's just doesn't feel real to the athletes. I can't even imagine. But like half the time, I haven't seen like their breath like fogging up or nothing. And then,
it's
like,
cold.
Is it cold?
Oh, it's cold. Yeah, for sure.
It's just not snowing. Okay.
No.
I guess what are they supposed to do about that? I don't know.
Yeah, like the same shit could happen in Aspen. Or Lake Tahoe, but yeah, did you see the high jump or the is it the high jump?
In the middle of that big plant,
dude, it looked like a nuclear plant. It was so ugly.
Yeah,
bro,
it's a bleak looking skyline and shit, man. It looks sad in that country.
Well, that wasn't that. I looked it up because I was curious. What the fuck is that? Yeah. That looks like the skyline of like pretty much any like middle sized American city. Mm-hmm. That was like a offshoot of Beijing. That was like 45 minutes away from the city center.
For real?
Yeah, it was just a city outside of Beijing.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that wild? So you're just like in this weird random city outside of Beijing, China, next to what looks like nuclear coolers, right, with the Olympic logo on it on a fake snow ramp. Yeah, it's just weird. Doesn't really set the scene for you very well.
We fucking are doing terrible though, man. The medal count is wild. We're normally like the leader in this shit. Like us, China, Russia, which Russia's shit confused me this year too, with how they're not Russia. It's the Russian Olympic Committee because of whatever doping.
Oh, have you not heard about this before?
I honestly had it until the Olympics came back, but it's just kind of weird.
It's been going on for a while. It's been going on since 2016.
Really?
The Russians haven't competed under the Russian flag. I don't know what the penalty was, but it was because they systematically doped their athletes in the Sochi Olympics in 2014. Yes, 2014. Have you ever seen that documentary?
No.
On that? It's I forgot the name of it. But there's a crazy documentary. This guy is like doing a documentary on doping, and he is in Russia. And he finds the dude who's like the mastermind at all this doping stuff for the Russian Olympic Committee. And he tells this guy who's making this documentary everything. He tells him everything. He shows him all of it. He goes, this is how we do it. And he made a documentary about it. And it came out and the Olympic Committee was just like, all right, I guess we have to do something, but they're all in bed together. I mean, like they don't give a fuck so long as everyone's getting their money. So they had to do something about it, obviously. So they stripped the Russian flag from the Olympics for some period of time. I forget what it was, but since I think the Brazil Olympics in 2016, they've been competing under the Russian Olympic Committee flag. So all the record books in the Olympic history or world competitive history, it won't be for Russia. It'll be for the Russian Olympic Committee, which is disgraceful, but to me, it seems like a slap on the wrist, really, when you think about it.
I guess I was sleeping. This is the first I've heard of that, so that's crazy to me.
The documentary is called Icarus.
Okay. Is it on Netflix, or do you know?
I think so.
Okay. I'm going to look for that.
Check it out. It's dope.
What I was saying, though, is with the medal count, as of yesterday, we were in like 17th place. We had like 3 medals or 2 medals. But I'm looking now, and we're back to 6th. So we have 8 total medals right now.
Who has the most?
Germany has the most gold. See, they rank us by golds,
right? And
we have 2 gold medals right now. Germany has 5.
Play for silver, Al?
Wait, no. For first, you're last.
Germany has 5 golds.
They've got 5 gold, 3 silver, 0 bronze.
Who has the most total medals?
That I'm seeing on here, it looks like the Russian Olympic Committee has 11.
Oh, dang.
Austria has 10. Norway has 10. We have 8. Germany has 8.
I think that's the more impressive stat, to have the most medals total.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. But I heard like China like only gives a fuck about gold medals.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense, I suppose. I'm just honored to be nominated. Have you been following this Amir Locke story?
Not at all. You mentioned his name before the pod, and sadly, bro, I was like, who? And then you told me what happened. I'm like, I should probably know about that.
Well, it's funny, man. I've been very busy myself, and I wouldn't have known about this. Well, I probably would have, but I wouldn't have known about it in detail if I wasn't watching the news this weekend. Like, I think it was like ABC World News, and it was one of their top stories. But the police executed this no-knock raid at an apartment, and they pretty quickly fired on this young man that was sleeping on the couch when they saw he had a gun. And it turns out that he was a completely innocent person, had no connection with which they were searching for, and then the gun he had was a legally registered firearm. So he was he was very legal in his possession of that firearm. So we now know after that his cousin, who goes by the name of Mackay Speed, was either like living in that apartment or was his apartment or something. And the police were after him for murder. They were trying to arrest him for murder. And so they went knocking down that door where he was supposed to be. They found this guy, Amir Locke, saw the gun within like 9 seconds of entering the house, shot and killed him. So there's been a bunch of calls for the ceasing of no-knock warrants, which, I suppose there's some validity to that. No-knock warrants actually started as part of like the war on drugs, because if you were executing a warrant, you had to like announce yourself, knock on the door first, let them know that the police were there, and I guess I gave whoever was in the house time to flush evidence or whatever, like do whatever they want, escape out the back door. And so they execute these no-knock warrants as a form of surprise so that nobody has time to move or do anything. And sometimes they end up in tragic deaths like this one. When I was looking for how common they were, I couldn't find how common deaths were. I couldn't find a ton of data. The best thing that I could find was a New York Times article from 2017. And between 2010 and 2016, there were 83 deaths from no-knock warrants. 13 deaths in addition to those 83 were actual law enforcement deaths. So slightly goes both ways, but I don't know, man. To me, it just seems like a big, giant fuck up that occurs because of, I don't know, a misunderstanding. Could you call it that? I don't know. What would you classify this as?
I mean, dude, think about it, though, like where you sit right now or where I am, if someone came busting up in your house, with any kind of announcement or anything like that, like who knows what's going to happen? Like, this is America. You fucking in Texas and someone does that, you'd have the right to shoot them legally. How do you know they're a police officer?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, it just seems like if you don't announce yourself as the police, like how is someone not supposed to think you're just, especially if you're in the fucking ghetto or wherever, like in the inner city, like that could be a rival gang or whoever the fuck busting up in your shit. You're going to fire at them.
Yes.
So to me, I'm about it. I do not think no-knock warrant should be a thing. It seems like way more can go bad than flushing some drugs. Like if you got a warrant, I don't think there's enough time to flush all the drugs, or whatever it is you're hiding that was cause enough to get a warrant at your house. Like they're there for a fucking reason. You can flush, maybe 3 years of prison away because of drugs or whatever. But like,
right.
I just, it seems like way more bad can go wrong, especially for the police officers. Like you're saying, like these guys are already in dangerous enough territory. Now you're just going to be like, yeah, go ahead, go get in there. They don't know you're coming. Good luck.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you. And if you think about it from the police perspective, right? You're on the search for a murder suspect. So you're knocking the door down knowing that you're looking for somebody who is already killed.
Right.
And so you're going into that situation fully ready to pull that trigger. You're not fucking around, right? Because it's either me or him, and it's not going to be him if I'm a cop, right?
Right.
So you go out, you see this guy get up from the couch. He's holding a gun, and he has the gun in his hand. It's not, his finger's not on the trigger, but he has a gun in his hand. So it's like immediately, yes, shooting this person. Right. Murder suspect, warrant search, gun, shot. And so what you do in that instance, if you allow this to continue, is you allow for the possibility of collateral damage. And it's why? Right, because there's enough cases out there. Breonna Taylor comes to mind. Mm-hmm. Very, that one was in the public eye a whole bunch. Why do you need to allow for that collateral damage? What benefit does it get you? And I'm fully willing to hear an argument that it does give you some sort of advantage, and that I'm just not seeing it, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, I think more can go wrong than good. I mean, think about like if there's some kids in the other room and people start firing shots off, there's going to be stray bullets that go in there, take out, I mean, there probably is a dirt bag in there if you have a warrant to just bust into somebody's house. Like the few minutes, maybe add a caveat where like you have 60 seconds from the time you announce like police open up the door or we're coming in. Maybe if you put in some kind of like time restrictions where like, obviously if the place is surrounded, they're not running anywhere, and 60 seconds isn't that much time to flush drugs or do whatever it is you need to do. Like, but it is enough time to announce yourself and not just storm in and surprise a motherfucker. I feel like that's a pretty good like compromise to like appease both sides to where you might not have these unnecessary deaths on either side, but you also can like catch bad people that should go to jail,
Right. When you're executing a search warrant for a murder suspect, it just, to me, like, where's the justification for something like that?
In which way?
For a no-knock warrant.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I think you lose sight of, what's at stake, right? Because you're still dealing with human beings at the end of the day. So your goal is to catch this person as quickly as possible because you're investigating a murder. And so there's a certain amount of urgency that's placed on that type of investigation, that type of operation. And you have a limited window to catch somebody. And so if you find the opportunity, you seize the opportunity. But in that instance, I don't know what benefit there is to a full-on police invasion raid to find the suspect. Do a little fucking recon work, play that hero you want to be and go out there and set up a perimeter and knock on the door, have the angles. If you saw the video that's out there of this warrant that was being executed, and there was enough goddamn police officers to make something else happen. So, I don't want to sit here and pretend like I have the answer, but I think the start is a different strategy. It's just a different strategy. Be aggressive about it, but don't don't act like it's I don't know. Don't act like there isn't human beings involved, and that your only objective is to catch the suspect. Your objective is to catch the suspect. Make sure that other people who aren't involved go home that night. That's your responsibility.
Right. Like this, hearing it described to me sounds like we're hunting Osama bin Laden. Like this is the type of shit that you would do to bust into a fucking terrorist and take them down. Like I get that. That makes sense there. But like here, it's like, I doubt anyone that we're doing this at stateside is a known global terrorist. They need to be apprehended and tried for their crimes in a court of law. That's their right. Like as just a human being in this country, they'll face consequences for the shit they've done, I'm sure. And we got a fucked up legal system. I get that, but like just knocking in and storming in, like you're saying, it's just there's so many more unintended consequences that do result as a result of this.
Agreed. So hopefully something comes of it. I already know that Minneapolis, Minnesota, where this took place, has ceased these type of warrants from being executed, at least temporary. So probably will become something permanent. And I don't know. We'll see if other police departments decide to follow suit. I think every one of these decisions is pretty much based on whatever locality that you're in. So
Minneapolis Police Department, fucking up.
Yeah, not a whole lot of good news coming out of there.
Do you have any good news in general from the world?
Yeah, I think I can come up with some good news in general.
Should be a little segment. Good news in general.
Just good news in general. During her last concert, Billie Eilish noticed that a fan was having trouble breathing, so she stopped the concert of 20,000 people, all for the one fan, told her crew to bring an inhaler so the fan could breathe again. Good for you, Billie.
Like it.
Way to make it happen. Dolly Parton's Dollywood Parks and Resorts have announced that they will pay all tuition costs, fees, and books for employees who pursue higher education. We already knew that Dolly Parton was a sweetheart, so this just solidifies all that. Troy Kotsur. Have you heard of this actor, Troy Kotsur? Mm-mm. He was born deaf, and as a child, he always dreamt of making it in Hollywood. And this morning, he became the first ever deaf man to be nominated for an Oscar.
Hey.
Hell yeah, Troy.
Yeah.
Way to be. There's a woman named Emilia Clarke Oh, Amelia Clark. She's the actress from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, she's pretty attractive lady there.
Do you know that she survived not one but 2 brain aneurysms?
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Recently or like in her lifetime?
In her lifetime. But she founded a charity to help survivors of brain injury and stroke.
Interesting.
Hell yeah. That's wild. 2 brain aneurysms. Could you imagine?
New study came out about olives. Do you like olives?
I love olives.
I'm a big fan.
Olives. Favorite olive?
My favorite olive would probably be a jalapeno stuffed green olive.
Ooh, dirty.
Yeah.
I like regular green olives, but I like them especially when they're stuffed with pimento peppers and put into an alcoholic beverage.
See, I've never done like a martini or a vodka kind of thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Or whatever.
Dude, I've never had a martini in my 30
Bloody
years
Mary.
on this world.
You're not missing a ton.
Yeah.
It's like the old fashioned for white women on diets.
Makes sense. That's why James Bond drinks it. But anyway, this study came out and it said olive oil intake is associated with a much lower risk of death. It says that replacing margarine, butter, mayonnaise, and dairy fat with olive oil was associated with lower mortality risk from diseases, saying that 7 grams daily of olive oil is associated with a lower risk of cardiovascular disease, cancer, neurodegenerative, and respiratory diseases.
Aha.
So eat your olive oil or use your olive oil in place of butter when you cook.
So I did a semester at Owens College in Toledo, Ohio. It's an interesting place.
It is. Our friend Patrick Davison goes there right now, currently.
Ah, fuck yeah, go Owens. I took a nutrition class there once, and I always remember the lady saying olive oil is the best thing you could put in your body in terms of fat. And she was like telling us to eat it with like bread or whatever and like cook it as little as possible and just eat it raw.
Only thing I could see being better than olive oil would be like the fat in avocado. Like avocado oil would probably be better. We might only guess, but I'm sure it's way more expensive.
Maybe. I like olive oil and I like avocado oil, but I'll never stop using butter before anything else.
Really?
Butter's the best. Yeah. Butter is what makes good things great, my friend.
Yeah, I do. I still use butter when I cook eggs.
Yeah.
And obviously like for toast.
Buttered eggs are great. Buttered toast is unbeaten. Dude, just a nice piece of sourdough with some butter.
But okay, like if you're going to like pan fry some vegetables or do some shit like that, like are you using butter?
Olive oil.
Yeah, same. Okay.
But it depends what I'm doing. If I'm cooking mushrooms, I'm using butter. If I'm cooking onions, I'm using butter and olive oil. If I'm cooking just like peppers and sauteing a combination of like vegetables like broccoli or whatever, depending on how I'm cooking it. If it's like Asian style vegetables, then I'll just use a high heat oil, canola oil or sunflower seed oil. But if it's like not super high heat, I'm not like charring them or like getting them real brown, I'll just use olive oil.
Yeah.
But I feel like the dish or the whatever you're cooking determines the fat that you use.
Sure. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. What about when you're cooking meth?
I don't know what
I've heard butter meth's pretty good.
Butter meth. Have you heard of this little story come out about Dave Chappelle?
Have not.
So there was a video that made the rounds of Dave Chappelle at his city council or village council because he lives in
Ohio.
He does live in Ohio. He lives in Yellow Springs Village, right outside of Dayton, Ohio. They were approving this housing development, and when they were trying to push it through, they had added some low-cost housing as part of the development. And apparently, Yellow Springs is a pretty affluent, nice area. Probably like, I don't know, like Ottawa Hills, if you want to put it in perspective.
Sure. La Jolla for you?
La Jolla, maybe. You know, the nicer area of the city you live in. And Dave Chappelle went up, and he was like, look, I can't believe that, like, you would try to push this through, because apparently they tried to, like, push it through without all of the people being asked about it. And he was like, I can't believe like you would actually make me come down here and like tell you that I do all of this shit for this village. Cause I guess he has like some, I don't know how many tens of millions invested in this area, putting in a restaurant. He built the fire department. He's building a comedy club. You know, he's like bringing a lot of stuff in. And he was just like, I'm not fucking with you here. I will pull it all out if you push through this affordable housing. And people are like, obviously like in an uproar about him trying to kill the affordable housing portion of that project.
Wow.
I mean, like, look, dude, I don't know. We've both spent considerable time in Ohio. You way more than me. And like, I don't know. There's not like, people aren't like building on top of each other in fucking Dayton, Ohio. There's other places to build housing. I understand his, you know, his want to keep his community and, you know, not inviting the riffraff. I mean, fuck, dude, if I made it, I would feel the same way.
So is Dave Chappelle more racist than Joe Rogan?
Stay tuned.
I mean, dude, I get what Chappelle's saying. He wants to protect his investment. He's put millions and millions into the city. I get it. Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. Like, Ohio, this isn't California real estate, man. Like, you can live wherever the fuck you want. Dayton's right there. There's tons of low-income housing there. There's Cincinnati's 45 minutes south. Plenty of it there. Tons of farmland.
To say that he opposes the low-income housing makes it sound like he's kicking people out of homes.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, oh, this piece of shit, really? You're not gonna go with low-income housing, Dave Chappelle, you fucking bigot. I don't think that's the case at all. He's not saying, look, I'm not saying you can't have this kind of development. I just don't want that development in this community. This community is what this community is because it's what we make it. And if you put in people here who aren't part of this community, whoever they may be, and we know who those kind of people would be in Ohio, Al. Like, we live there. I mean, it's not like, dude, there's just people you don't want in your neighborhood. There's just stuff you don't want to invite in your neighborhood. There's really not great things that go on in any portion of the country, but especially in the Midwest, you know, you get a lot of shit.
Chappelle will be all right, man. Donald Trump literally kicked people out of their houses in New York, and he became the president of America. So
there you go. You still got a chance, Dave.
That's wild, though. I mean, I could definitely. I'm surprised that like mainstream media isn't trying to do more with that story, especially paralleling with Rogan now and all the shit that Chappelle was going through like earlier this year. You know, bigot Dave Chappelle hates transgenders, now wants to kick out low income housing. I can't. I'm kind of surprised that's not more of a story right now.
For real, though, dude. But I don't know, man. If you're gonna put in the type of development that he's put in that kind of community, and think that doesn't buy you a little bit of weight to throw around about something like about how you want to shape the community that you want to have for your children, your family, and your friends and neighbors. And well, fuck him, dude. Like, absolutely. Good for you, man. Good for you, Dave.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see property value over the last 10 years in that area, that county, whatever. Like, since Chappelle's gone there, I'm sure it's skyrocketed.
If you're a guy like Dave Chappelle and you come from relative nothing to build yourself up to what you are, you want to protect what you've built, and part of that is the value of the house you live in. You can dilute that overnight by doing something like that type of development. So,
yeah, there's plenty like Calabasas. You think there's fucking low income housing in Calabasas?
There's not.
Yeah, there's areas like this that exist. Like, I think that should be all right, man. There's, like you're saying, there's plenty of fucking other spots like that. Developments like this could go in. You know, so much farmland in Ohio, it's crazy. Like, there's plenty of space.
Plenty of space, indeed. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe he catches more shit for it. Who knows? Who cares? There's far more important things in life. Like enjoying a great cup of coffee, which is surprisingly hard to find in Sacramento, California.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just Starbucks and McDonald's. That's all I've been, you know. And I guess Starbucks is fine, but I don't like Starbucks. I don't like paying that money. It's shit, whatever coffee. I go into a place that like open ceilings. You could see the rafters and the duct and all that. And all they're about is coffee. They're not about serving the masses.
All right, how about this real quick before we get out of here? Is there ever any scenario where you would rather have Dunkin' Donuts than Starbucks?
I would say 10 times out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, for the price.
Oh, see, okay, but you're letting price dictate over the quality of the coffee that you're getting?
Dunkin' Donuts isn't bad coffee.
It's not as good as Starbucks, though.
I don't think it's much better.
God damn it. I thought you were going to side with me on this. Now
no,
Sarah's
dude,
just
Starbucks
say,
is
fuck
trash.
You.
Starbucks is trash.
I like Starbucks, bro.
Starbucks is trash.
Dude, the Starbucks Nitro Brew is way better than any Nitro that Dunkin's ever put out.
I don't drink any of that shit. I drink black hot coffee. I want black hot bean
coffee,
juice.
Bro, the midnight coffee at Dunkin' doesn't even touch the Pike Place roast at Starbucks, bro. I'm sorry, it does not.
The Pike Place is nice for everyday
roast.
drinking. I don't mind it. I would drink it 10 times out of 10, but if I'm like, you know, like I would rather go to a McDonald's.
Get the fuck out of here. What?
Than like if I just wanted like a quick cup of coffee, I'll drink a McDonald's cup of coffee.
I'm not saying I wouldn't drink it, but I wouldn't prefer it to a Starbucks Pike roast.
I've been drinking Folgers this week.
Yeah, so that's salt of the earth coffee.
I suppose. Chock full of nuts. You ever had that?
I have. Pretty solid.
It's okay.
Papa Nicholas. Do you guys get that out there? That's a pretty solid one too. But what I can say is that none of those coffee places also allow you to support American heroes like veterans and first responders.
They pale in comparison.
They do.
In fact.
To our sponsor, Gun Barrel Coffee. And they're proud to do that. They donate $1 from every single item purchased on their website to these great charities that help out veterans and first responders all across our country. They offer 14 different blends and roasts, which you can get in whole bean, ground, and single serve pods. And right now, as a friend of this beautiful ship, you can use the promo code FNH10. You'll save 10% at checkout when you buy their products at gunbarrelcoffee.com. Promo code FNH10. Go check them out. Good guys. Love what they stand for. Great coffee. Gun Barrel Coffee. Here's the tagline. Damn good coffee. Damn good cause.
Yep.
That's what their shirt should say. Damn good coffee. Damn good cause. Space, space, space. Yep.
You betcha. I know. We love them. We love their coffee too. They're really good. Go ahead and hit us up on Twitter, if you're so inclined, at Friendship at H, on Instagram and TikTok, same handle, Friendship News Hour, and you can send us an email, bummerdude.media@gmail.com, bummerdude.media@gmail.com. We will see you next time.